Welcome into the Snapped podcast. My name is Tyler Kluver, and I'm a former Division I athlete turned entrepreneur. I run my own fitness and nutrition coaching business, as well as a sports media brand that produces podcasts, sells merchandise, and creates exclusive paid content. The fun part is I don't really know what I'm doing as a business owner. I'm just figuring it out day by day. This show, Snapped, acts as an audio journal for my thoughts and ideas on fitness, health, business, mindset, and whatever else I find important on the pursuit to personal happiness and a balanced life. I hope you can take something from the show that makes your life a little bit better. And regardless, I'm just happy you're here. Let's have a day. Let's go. We are back for the Snap podcast, just off of a workout. I literally walked in the door. I hit the button. We started going. This could be a little jumbled. I just did a back squat workout. Welcome to 2024, by the way. Brand new year, new me. New year, new me. New goals, resolutions. No, it's bullshit. I am kind of riding the high of a workout right now. Like if there ever was a time where I was under the influence, you could probably call that right now. As you notice in my voice, I'm breathing a little hard, maybe at a zone 2 pace, let's call it. It wasn't a zone 2 workout. I was doing squats. We'll talk about that in a second. But I'm also a little bit raspy, been a little sick. I wouldn't even call it sick. I feel great, feel fine. Throat has just been a little scratchy and hoarse the last couple days, which is good because I'm doing 2 podcasts today. Wearing the headphones for all the bots who are watching YouTube. Shout out to the YouTube community who that aren't there. Subscribe if you ever randomly find this. I'm Tyler. Welcome. I'm wearing them over my hoodie because I don't want to get my nice $150 headphones sweaty. This is no bullshit. I'm literally finished my last squat set, and within 4 minutes, I was recording this episode. So welcome to 2024. Today's episode, in as quickly as I can, maybe that'll be a resolution for me. Say that I'm going to do a fast podcast and then actually do it quickly. This one's probably going to run 20 to 25 minutes if I know myself. We're going to try and lay out the structure plan for this year for the Snapped podcast, and sort of Snap podcast is enveloped into Tyler Kluver fitness, TKG training, all of that. So let me see if I can find my, there we go. My plan, my little outline. Also apologize if this is just a podcast that is all over the place. When I stand up and do podcasts, I'm usually a little bit more jump around, not as organized, but I'm standing because, as I mentioned, I did some squats. You may be asking yourself, wow, Tyler, you must be healed up. Your back must be feeling immaculate, just ready for all that weight. It's not, but it's feeling good enough, feeling good enough for me to trick myself into working out because it feels not bad. And that's the way it is. By standing up and doing this podcast, and my voice is just disappearing as this goes on. It allows my back to flush out a bunch of the workout that just happened. So that's that. Okay, 2024. What's this podcast going to look like? It's going to start off with something that I'm very, very excited about. It's an idea that formed based off of the 6-part Andrew Huberman series with Andy Galpin. I am basically going to do the Tyler Kluver version of that. I highly suggest that you just go and listen to that 6-part series. Hell, maybe I'll even link that 6-part series in the show notes or the description of this episode so that you don't have to search it. Otherwise, just search Huberman with Andy Galpin, Galpin. They did a 6-part series on last year, like 2 hours an episode. So it was like 12 hours of content. It was literally like porn for me. And it's a full breakdown. I mean, a full protocol on the best and most current strategies and um, interventions for building strength, building endurance, building muscle, losing fat, all of that. It's incredible. Because it was so succinct and came across to me as a consumer as valuable, I want to try and do that for you guys in a similar fashion. I'm sweating my balls off, looking like Assassin's Creed doing this podcast, by the way. So we're going to start off this year of 2024 by me doing at this point in time, a 3-part series uh, of what I consider to be the 3 most important parts of our health from a very, very 10,000-foot view perspective. Put it simply, that is exercise, nutrition, and sleep in no particular order. If it was going to be in order, I would probably do nutrition, sleep, exercise. They really all kind of are standing on the same platform when it comes to their importance. And as you'll find out, hopefully, if I can get it across in a very concise way and in a way that is easily consumable, you'll kind of see, you should already know that, but you can kind of see and will see how they are all interconnected and work off of each other. So it's literally going to be, and I'm doing it now, and I've done these before, right? I've given you guys my protocol. In fact, I did this summer, my current sleep protocol, my current diet protocol, my current exercise protocol. That's what I do, and that's far more extreme, specifically in the specifically in the training regimen. But it's not exactly the same as what is best for the general person. These episodes are going to be meant for what is the most general, all-encompassing advice that I can give that no matter who hears it, no matter who comes across this and listens, it applies to them. And if they were to just black and white blanket, do exactly, live exactly, behave exactly as I describe in these podcasts, which not advice, not a doctor, but if they were to decide, oh, I'm going to try what this guy Tyler says, it would provide them the most benefit to the average random person. Now, obviously, specifically, individually, we all have our own needs and situations and life experiences that play into what would be perfectly curated and best and personalized for you. But these 3 episodes will get you 90% of the way there. And if you're doing all 3, it's going to be more than enough to just be a very top 5% healthy, fit person in the world, without having to get personalized. So that's what's going to happen. It's going to be, and we're doing it now because it's the start of 2024. And while I think resolutions are bullshit, they're dumb. Health journeys, fitness journeys, new goals, new whatever, have to have a genesis. They need a start point. And it just so happens that, and even for me, the new year, a fresh calendar slate. And I'm sort of interested in this psychologically. I'm doing some self-research on it by my maybe we'll do a topic on it later. But for some reason, the new year is just a time where everybody feels that, oh, I should start something new. We'll end the podcast with something about that as well. So there you have it. Next week's episode is going to be something along the lines of how to live your best 2024 sleep protocol. And then the next week it'll be nutrition protocol, exercise protocol. I'm hoping these episodes will be less than 30 minutes. I'm going to do more prep on them than probably I ever have in a podcast because I want them to come across as, again, succinct, concise. I don't want to stutter or mumble, or at least want to keep that to a minimum. I don't want to go on tangents, which is essentially the name of this podcast. It's just the tangent podcast. I don't want to throw in a whole lot of extra thoughts, random shit that pops into my head, which sometimes is great. But in this context, in this sort of format, I want it to be very, God, the light is just washing me out, isn't it? Yeah, there we go. There'll be none of that where I just randomly, shift to a light topic. And I think these will be very, very, very helpful for people. Sort of directed at the people who are just like, you know what? I need the easiest things, and I need them to be uh, communicated in a very simple and time efficient way. And I need actionable items that I can attack right now in my life. Going to try and do that across those three categories of nutrition, sleep, and exercise. And I hope that it'll be an exercise that is good for all of us, both me in the communication of that information, and just the reinforcement of it through every time I do something like this. And then for you guys on the consumption side of, hey, maybe you can pick up a couple things that haven't clicked until right now. Cool. So that is how we're going to start 2024. As far as the rest of this podcast, and as we move on this year, this podcast is going to continue to be an audio journal. I wrote down here some things. I'm going to hit topics or stories or tidbits or pieces of information for a second or a third time. Sometimes we'll probably do updated episodes that are on topics that we've done entire episodes on before. And that's okay, because one, the facts change, they update, new things come out about certain things. I will inevitably communicate certain points of discussion and facts in different ways if I podcast about them again. And sometimes, even if it's the exact same info said the exact same way, it just takes the repetitive nature of that to click for some people. Ideally, I give at least enough room in between doing podcasts on these subjects or topics that it's not too repetitive. You still enjoy coming and spending your 20 to 30 minutes with me and hearing about it. And it'll continue to be about health and nutrition and fitness. I know and maybe even the description of the podcast, but I know in the intro it talks about me having businesses, and like you may get the idea that this is more of a business podcast than it has been, and that's probably my fault. Um, I do. I should probably change that just to even it out and make it more balanced in the intro. But I do want to add, as we continue to grow in 2024, the business aspect to this show, um, or just the simple mindset aspect to this show. I think I hesitate to share a lot about business and how the two businesses that I run are doing, or some things that happen in them, because of that imposter syndrome factor, where I don't know if I'm doing stuff right. I don't want to share stuff that's potentially like the wrong thing. I made the wrong decision. And I'm not actively thinking about that. I just feel more comfortable with other subjects. And so all the business stuff gets pushed to the side. I want to bring that off the sidelines and make some episodes about those primarily. And maybe that'll help me along within the business as well. What else? Basically, oh yeah, I wrote down that I basically want this show to be like a radio show, right? Um, Ideally, if you listen on a time sensitive basis, and it's just like, hey, I'm tuning in for the week, and things change, and I'll hear the same stuff, and it's about the same topic, and you kind of get my vibe and my consistency, my rhythm, um, the pace that I go at. And it's just it's a little tidbit. You throw me on 2x speed if you're on Spotify, 3x speed, and you knock it out, and it's a quick little snack of information for the day. Let's talk about TKG. I've teased that on here a little bit. A couple of you have signed up, love it. We're rocking and rolling over there. I will call that a failure in 2023. I dropped that, I believe, at the beginning of June. With I had intents to grow that, and I wanted to be at 40 members by the end of the year, which was 3 days ago. We finished in the mid 20s. And at one point I was up in the low 30s and I was pushing and I totally dropped the ball on that. Um, Not to say that the programming isn't good or it's dying out or anything. I'm still programming TKG daily workouts every week. Uh, you're gonna get those every day, every literally a workout every single day. If you sign up for that. But as far as like growing the business side of it and the social side of it, I didn't even do it. For November and December, I stopped posting on social media. I didn't have a vision. I didn't have a structure. I didn't have an outline. I got behind and I just said, fuck it. And that's on me. The business is not going to grow that way. Um, in today's day and age, you basically need social media to grow your business, especially if I'm just doing this online. And so I can't just do that and expect the business to continue to grow just like organically. People just find me and be like, I think I'll sign up for this random programming. So I got to be better at that. I plan on doing that. On my to-do list this week is to finish out a extensive 6 months to a year. I'm literally going to try and plan out the whole damn year of content on a surface level so that every week I can go into it and I can knock out content pieces and have that ready for Instagram and Facebook and Twitter. Um, and I don't know what follower goals I have. Those are really the only goals other than a subscriber number. I just want to see growth this year. And the only way you do that is if you put in the work. Um, I think, what did I write down? Have to work to see if it works. Have to work to see what happens. If it's very hard, and I know a couple other people that have small businesses and are trying to grow their brand and stuff like that, who are doing a great job of this. You don't know if your account will blow up or your brand will blow up and you'll start seeing tons of success until you've actually put in the work for long enough. Um, there are tons of stories of people who just posted every day and were consistent and just kept grinding. And one day it just popped, or one day something resonated with some other account or some other person and they got reposted and everything blew up, right? That's not going to happen if I'm just not doing that. So it can be sort of disheartening, discouraging when you're posting every single day, you're putting time into it, and you've got 262 followers and 30 people signed up, and your goals are to have thousands of followers and hundreds of people signed up for this program. Um, but this it's pretty simple. You don't just get that. You have to work for that. So that is the goal with TKG. That being said, help a guy out, huh? TylerCluver.com, sign up for TKG. I promise you that if you value not having to write your own workouts, but still having something to do at the house every single day of the year, 24/7, 365. Sign up for TKG. You get workouts, warm-ups, workouts, cool downs for less than $1 a day. These workouts are based on progressive overload. Obviously, if you have an array of dumbbells, it helps add a little bit more resistance. But as long as you have one set, you'll be getting strength workouts in. You'll be getting aerobic work in, plyometrics, circuit hit training. You're going to get stronger, faster, have better endurance, drop body fat. Look, I mean, it's hard for me to oversell how good of a fucking value this is. That's all I'm saying. Um, Excited about what that looks like this year. We're gonna keep grinding that out. Uh, I'll try to keep this one short because no one gives a fuck. We talk a lot about my personal training, as in the training that I do, what I just came in from doing before this episode. And my CrossFit, my competitions, the Open, trying to make the CrossFit semifinals or the games or where I'm at with that stuff. Um, we've hit some roadblocks. All right. Take a drink, try to clear this throat. So you've heard about my injuries. We've talked about my injuries. We've talked about them. Nobody wants to hear about them. If I'm being honest, as the cold weather came in, I got hurt again in early November. The holidays seeped in. I was a victim. I played victim of the circumstance, and me not being able to train and me feeling down and out physically might have contributed, probably did contribute to my lack of consistency with the TKG social and trying to do a lot of work towards the end of last year. When I am physically my best, it's a large reason why I advocate for fitness and health so much. When I'm physically my best and I'm able to work out every day, my career, my work, my income creating hobbies, work, whatever, my income creating life benefits from that, right? And so I felt sorry for myself more than I normally do, no, more than my baseline in the last 2 to 3 months. My back is feeling better. It is better than 50%. It's not completely dysfunctional a majority of the time now. I think I have a pretty good strategy as far as prevention and treatment when it does flare up. I have the psychological facts that I have not broken a bone or there's nothing wrong like that. So we're on the up and up on a very slow trajectory there. What does that mean for the CrossFit season this year? Well, the CrossFit Open starts in like a little less than 2 months. I think it's on the first day last week, last Thursday of February. Not a lot of time. I've essentially basically until today, unless you want to count one day last week, I've taken 2 whole months off of weightlifting. Well, that doesn't do a whole lot when you're trying to be competitive in a sport that involves weightlifting. I haven't done nearly as much conditioning. I haven't worked on muscle ups or any of that in any sort of volume. Just tidbits here and there, just like extremely minimum effective dose. So I have lost a step or two in the competitive realm of CrossFit. Um, I'm hoping to have a somewhat productive next 2 months as far as training goes. I will be fitter, I guess, I suspect, in 2 months than I am today. I will not be fitter in 2 months than I was last year. I'm still deciding whether that's a reason to pull back and just not do the open this year at all and try and continue to just take it easy and heal my back, or if I should just still push through and do it just to see what I can accomplish in a safe way. I'm not sure yet. That being said, I know that I'm not going to be the best Tyler Kluver in 2024 CrossFit season 2024. Maybe down the road, maybe by summer, I can be back to kicking ass again at full speed. But I'm about 85% for at least a couple months. And that's just not enough time to make it to where I can really put an insane effort into the quarterfinals, which I will make. The Open is even specifically this year, they've opened it up to top 25% instead of 10% if you followed CrossFit in the past. So I will make the quarterfinals, but I will not be able to do any damage in the quarterfinals like I normally would be. So that's disappointing. And also something that's depressing for me, as I've pretty much dedicated the last little over 2 years of my life to that. And that's okay. That's okay. I'm still in the process of reshaping and rethinking about my own fitness goals that I want to pursue. And as long as I can go hit a workout hard every single day, I'm pretty happy with that. It keeps me mentally locked in. So we will see where the personal competition and training goals go. Stay tuned. I'll leave you with this. Um, it's a new year. As we said, resolutions are kind of dumb, but it is a great time to just refresh and start a new journey. Maybe not on something so drastic as like, I'm going to quit smoking or I'm going to start working out. Do that immediately. Obviously, if you do that immediately right now, it coincides with the start of the year. But it is fun to start something new, even if big time life changing resolutions are dumb and they should just be done immediately and not on a some arbitrary date. It doesn't mean that you can't run off of a little New Year motivation that you do feel. And I think it's a good time to start something new, start a streak of something that benefits you. For example, and I pretty much do this anyway. As I've said in the past, I use push-ups to kind of break up the work during the day all the time, and probably average between 50 and 100 a day for the last 5 years. This year, I'm committing to 100 a day, no matter what. By the end of the year, that's like 36,500 if it's exactly 100 a day. I hope to push that actually closer to 50,000 push-ups. I'm going to track. I'm doing 100 a day, no matter what, no matter where we are, no matter it gets to the holidays later in the year. We're traveling, we're going somewhere. It's 100 a day, no excuses. And my wife and I have dedicated ourselves, and we've done this before, but my wife and I are dedicating, I sound horrible. We're dedicating ourselves to 10 minutes, just 10 minutes of reading a book before we go to get, for, Jesus Christ, before we go to bed at night. We're 2 for 2, by the way. We're going to make it 3 for 3 tonight. My goal every year is basically to read one book a month. It's very, very soft. It's a soft goal. The best I've ever done is like 7 or 8 2 years ago, maybe last year or 2 years ago. I always get distracted. I always say, just fuck it. Not this year. And we're going to do it by the same process that I take clients through when they make big changes to their fitness and stuff. We go little increments consistently, and those will add up. 10 minutes a night, you're reading about at least 10 pages, probably a night. That's 12 300-page books a year. It's not that hard. So start something new that benefits you in this new year of 2024. I hope you are off to a fantastic start. We're 3 days in. Get excited for that 3-part series coming in the coming weeks. I really do think it's going to be beneficial. I'm excited to keep podcasting and talking into the void. I appreciate all of you who listened last year and who are going to continue to listen this year. Turn somebody onto this podcast, by the way. Specifically, if you like the next 3 episodes, those would be a great time for somebody new to jump in. And as always, I need something to end the podcast with. Like, don't snap your shit. Snap into action in 2024. Nah, this is fucking stupid. Hope you gained a little nugget from this. I will talk to you next week. Until then, peace.